So it looks like Chud the Builder could be out of jail soon, thanks to his rich friend that he's treating like his sugar daddy that is coming to fucking bail him out. Dalton Etherly, who we've covered before, who is better known as Chud the Builder, has been sitting in jail after being arrested for a shooting that happened outside of the Montgomery County Courthouse in Clarksville, Tennessee back on May 13th. He's currently facing several charges, including attempted homicide, aggravated assault, and reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon, as well as employing a firearm during a dangerous felony. And during a bond hearing that happened on May 21st, the court lowered his bond from $1.25 million down to an even $1 million, and the judge added a bunch of conditions after he was released that he had to follow. That includes wearing a GPS monitor, giving up all of his weapons if he has any, and possibly the funniest restriction of all, and also one of the most penalizing things for him as a streamer and a content creator, of course, is the fact that they told him he wasn't allowed to be on the internet anymore or talk about any of these kind of things on the internet, which is basically the equivalent of cutting off Superman's cape and stuffing a kryptonite piece up his butt and telling him he can't fucking fly anymore. The court also ruled that there was a massive crowdfunding campaign that had started over the shooting, and they stated that any of the funds that were raised after May 13th cannot be used towards Chud's bond whatsoever, but they said that it could actually reportedly go to his legal defense so he could get attorneys or whatever with it and try to help himself out that way, I guess. I don't really understand why they ended up having a fundraiser for this guy after he did what he did, to be honest. I think that's just ridiculous. But this is where the internet plot twist kind of kicks in for this whole situation. There are multiple content creators that are claiming that the person that's offering to pay Chud's full $1 million bond is a guy named Aussie Monarch Kitola, who is the owner of Duel and CSGO Empire. And if you guys don't know what CSGO Empire is, it's basically a gambling website that pretty much completely runs off of CSGO skins. And Duel is kind of like an online virtual loot crate opening thing that allows people to go against each other and see who gets the rarest item, and whoever gets the rarest item wins. And this guy, I guess, owns these companies. But there was a streamer named Paul Miller that posted that Duel was actively trying to get Chud out, and they were saying that the company already had the money, but they were just waiting on the payment instructions from the lawyers. There's also another creator named Lord Miles who also claimed that Monarch was trying to make it happen, saying that the funds were ready, but there was something about the system that was making the transaction difficult. And I don't know if you guys have ever had to deal with any kind of like bailing somebody out, but they don't make any kind of like jail related system easy for anybody to use, even the people that are just trying to get in contact with the people in jail. So that's, I guess, what they're saying, or like bail them out. But honestly, hearing that their system is making it difficult to transfer $1 million over to bond some dude out that whipped out a gun on people in public and endangered a bunch of people is a super duper dumb, like elite rich people problem, in my opinion. It just sounds so silly. But the judge actually mentioned during a hearing as well that someone online had already offered to pay the bond, although nothing had officially been confirmed. So it seems like this guy has multiple people that are biting the bullet and deciding to take him out of jail, even though he did what he did. They just don't really care, I guess. Just completely heartless people, in my opinion. But also, if Monarch's name sounds familiar, it might be because earlier this year he reportedly lost around $19 million during a streamed poker game against a guy named Dan Jungleman Cates. And I'll put a picture up. I don't fucking know these guys really, but you know, as the freaking rich asshole that this guy is, after this guy lost the poker game, he pretty much just like brushed it off and didn't care. He lost $19 million and pretty much just said it was all worth the content, and it's like nothing to him. So I'm sure bonding Chud the Builder out is also going to be a very small little nick in this guy's pocket that he's not going to notice. But as of right now, Chud the Builder has not posted bonds, so he is still in custody in the Montgomery County Jail, and his case is headed to a grand jury and a preliminary hearing that is currently scheduled to be on May 26th, so just in 3 days from today. So all of that together shows us that we've officially reached the timeline where you have influencers that have millionaire bailout sponsors that are owners of companies, and they're able to just get away with some of the most heinous shit that we can imagine. Obviously, he still has court dates and things he has to deal with, but I almost wouldn't be surprised if he did somehow get away with this in some shape or form. It just seems so silly the way things go. But that's pretty much it for this video. I definitely want to know what you guys think, though, about everything that we've talked about with Chud the Builder. And if you guys haven't seen, you guys can check out my last video on him as well. And check out some of the other videos that I make if you'd like. I work really hard to make them come out, so I would appreciate it. And I will catch you guys in the next one.